Dude, COVID literally let Biden win. COVID gave Biden the victory. Not only did COVID give Biden the victory, Trump got COVID right before the election. Now Biden's like, I'm not dropping. Unless the Lord Almighty tells me I'm dropping, I'm not dropping. And now the Lord Almighty has spoken. Wow, Biden has tested positive and had to cancel his speech today. Positive for what? Are you fucking... Bro, that's literally from a minute. He got COVID? Biden says he'd reevaluate campaign if medical condition emerged. No fucking way, dude. This happened like yesterday. Or not yesterday, like earlier today. Yo, you think it's God? Do you think this is a way out, boys? Biden has COVID? I mean, he's dead. Oh my God. Oh my God. President Biden has just tested positive for COVID. Oh my God. Now, let me tell you something. He's gotten COVID before. I'm posting. I had to do it to him. I said, it seems like the Lord Almighty is evening the score this time around. Bro, this is literally what happened Dude. Anyone that says canceled is so wrong. Dude, COVID literally let Biden win. COVID gave Biden the victory. Not only did COVID give Biden the victory, Trump got COVID right before the election. Now Biden's like, I'm not dropping. Unless the Lord Almighty tells me I'm dropping, I'm not dropping. And now the Lord Almighty has spoken. 3 days ago, Donald Trump dodged a bullet. And I'm not using that as a regular colloquialism, as a phrase. I'm saying he literally dodged a bullet by like 5 centimeters. Okay? Call me fucking Al Pacino the way life is a game of inches. Donald Trump was too busy looking at the Hispanics are doing rape chart in the right moment that he fucking grazed his ear. Okay? The bullet grazed the motherfucker's ear. Then, now, Joe Biden, after saying, the Lord Almighty alone can take me down. If he tells me I can't run, I'll stop running. Kamala sneaking COVID blankets into his bedroom. Kamala Harris behaving like the Pilgrims did. Kamala Harris wrapping Joe Biden up, singing him bedtime lullabies, wrapping him up in fucking COVID blankies. Now, what's really interesting is, like I said, this morning, Biden said he would consider dropping out of the race if a medical condition was diagnosed by doctors. Now that medical condition has come. Will he survive this as well? And by that, I am using a double entendre. I'm using the double entendre of will he survive COVID because he's that old. Like the age of his COVID, the age that he got COVID now is like, you know, it's pretty fucking consequential. But will he also survive claiming that he would consider dropping out? And then if he does survive COVID at this point, as I'm saying if, not when, if. Not when, if he survives COVID, will he actually drop out? Look at CNN. He was spreading it all around. Second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, test positive for COVID. July 7th. Bro. 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 That's crazy. This motherfucker was running around like the Grim Reaper, dude. Are you serious? This is a coup d'etat, ladies and gentlemen. This is a coup d'etat. This is why I can't trust the bitch. Ain't nothing was that fucking funny ever. Excuse me, nice bathroom. Maybe this was when they planned the attempt. Okay, new big brain conspiracy time. Kamala Harris sends out the hitter, okay, to spin the block. And also simultaneously is giving COVID by way of Douglas Emhoff to the current president, taking out both at the same time. Only Kamala remains. Kamala not looking too bad for her age. Am I tripping? No, she's not at all. I don't think that's it. I don't think you're tripping at all. Like, not that her looks matter at any in any way, shape, or form, but no, I mean, I think a lot of Kamala Harris. Here's how you know Kamala Harris is attractive, okay, to like most people. Because, and Kat brought this up on her Mother Jones article. There's only two responses that Republicans have to women in positions of power on the opposing team. They either get like really weird and rapey, or they get like, oh, this person is like a feminazi and she doesn't want dick, right? Like, and she's like gross and cold. With Kamala Harris, they go with the rapey strat. Like in the same way that they do with AOC. That's one way you can understand that, like, even Republicans find her attractive. It's a gross way to describe it, but like, unfortunately, American politics is fucking gross, especially Republicans. They say unimaginably gross shit about AOC. And they say similar things to Kamala Harris as well. For those of you asking, why no crab dance for Joe Biden getting COVID? Sometimes we pray. Okay? Sometimes it's not appropriate to celebrate too early. Like, you know, do with that information what you will. Maybe I'm saying celebrate his swift recovery. Right? I might be doing that. Maybe I'm saying that. Maybe I'm praying for his swift recovery, you know? You jinxed it with a bell? You don't know that. I'm saying 38% is the percentage of deaths. And the dodge skill is already on cooldown from Trump. Do you think there's a chance that the officials step in having Biden step down without stepping down? Dude, if Biden dies to COVID after Trump survives the shooting, conservatives will literally come so hard that all the red states will be flooded. Careful what you wish for. Oh, God. They'll say he got like 1 million boosters too, and that like boosters don't work. Holy shit. Ain't no way the RNC isn't going to make a joke about this and destroy any goodwill they gain from Trump being shot. Yeah. I mean, it would be so hard for Donald Trump to hold it back. He might hit him with a Ruth Bader Ginsburg style. Oh, he might hit him with one of these, dude. He might hit him with the... He might hit him with one of these.
Yeah. She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that.
I think this is probably one of the greatest political clips of all time. Like, it has its built-in soundtrack. Like, it has it all. Genuinely, one of the greatest political clips of all time. Like, so iconic.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, I've never forgotten about that clip. It lives in my mind all the time. That's why I brought it up immediately. Statement from Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Biden testing positive for COVID-19. Dude, what is going on right now, dude? This is boulders after boulders, daggers after daggers. I told you, motherfucker. I said, most boring election of our lifetime, but has the capacity to become the most interesting. I told you, motherfucker. Yeah, call it Jovid. It's Jover because he's got Jovid. Statement from Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre earlier today following his recent event in Las Vegas. President Biden tested positive for COVID-19. He's vaccinated and boosted, and he's experiencing mild symptoms. He'll be returning to Delaware where he will self-isolate and will continue to carry out all of his duties fully during that time. The White House will provide regular updates on the president's status as he continues to carry out the full duties of the office while in isolation. The NC uses a COVID test with a high known false positivity as a guise to replace Biden, thinking Americans wouldn't question him mysteriously and coincidentally contracting COVID in the middle of a summer when transmission is the lowest. Hopefully his doctors... Okay. I wanted to try and say this before. Other people say it seriously, but it's probably too late already. Biden is faking COVID as a pretext to step aside. I mean, he got a COVID. He tested positive for COVID literally right like 4 hours after he said he would drop out if he had a medical emergency. It's not like, and it also happens to perfectly correspond with post RNC. He said he would drop out and reevaluate campaign if medical condition emerged. Article comes out. He gets COVID. It's happening right as the RNC is like coming to a close. This is like, you know, people say the NBA is scripted, but this is like WWE levels of scripting. He was obviously referring to a cognitive condition, though. Oh, no. Rooting for COVID. Okay. Maybe he's faking it to save face. Another tweet you can dunk on. I'll be blunt, President Biden says in Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania. I ended the pandemic. He didn't. Well, I guess it's not over. Yeah, remember when Biden said this? Only the Lord Almighty can convince me to quit. That's why I tweeted what I tweeted. That's why I said, seems like Lord Almighty is evening the score this time around. That's what that was a reference to. Him saying only the Lord Almighty can take me out of this race. Which is, someone in the chat said, he said he ended the pandemic, but the pandemic about to end him. Blue Jim Bearer. I highly doubt he will ever drop out. I think he has to address his health concerns since people clearly aren't taking to his prior answers. I mean, I'm so cynical that I think there's credence to the conspiracy theories in the chat about like Biden using this as an opportunity to push the conversations about him being replaced even further. Biden just tested positive for COVID. Polymarket says earlier today he said he'd consider dropping out. Odds he drops out shot up to 66%. Nate Silver comes out, says big swing in the market. Although I have to admit, my first reaction was the White House would just use this as another excuse to run out the clock. Not fair to talk about him dropping out when he has COVID and can't defend himself. He has to maintain a life schedule, etc. Yeah. Like, everyone is thinking the same shit. You know it's dangerous times. You know it's weird times when I am in agreement with Nate Bronze, dude. Nate Poo-Poo Caca over here. That's craziness. That's wild. But it is where we're at now. Holy moly. He's Nate Gold now? No, he's not. I'm not going to say that. Okay? That's crazy. I got to tune into Fox News to see what the hell they're chirping. What the hell they're running with right now, dude. I need to see.
There's millions of data points for identity theft.
They haven't even
If there's
gotten
a problem,
to it.
we fix it. Guaranteed.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day.
New report. Biden was the first subject to be diagnosed with long COVID symptoms before being infected. I mean, he was infected before. I mean, holy moly, dude. What is going on, dude? We're leftists, Hasan. We cheer on Nate Silver and Nancy Pelosi now. MSNBC's covering it.
Are no longer with us. People's grandmas were dying alone
my
with their
God.
iPad. Mm-hmm. Great opportunity and messaging opportunity should the White House choose to take it.
Well, I think that's true. And there's no doubt he'll be responsible and he will be home isolating.
He won't have a Superman thing on under his shirt like Trump wanted to,
He will certainly
right?
not. But I think he also has, as David was just outlining there, a different, unique challenge right now. I mean, if you're on the Biden campaign, you're probably banging your head against the wall. You have your hands, your head in your hands, and you're thinking, of course, you want the president to be okay. He has access to the best doctors in the world. That's important for people to know. But also what they're trying to convey to the public right now is strength and inevitability, right? He spoke at the NAACP yesterday. He had a series of events that were important. The clock is kind of ticking down. It's important. Yes, they can do a lot over the next 5 days. And after people stop banging their head against the wall, they have to plan, as David said, what that looks like, whether it's interviews, engagements with social media experts and others. But they need to show him strong and powerful. Yes, they should use this as a moment on COVID, but they have a more immediate challenge right now, which is projecting to the Democratic Party he's inevitable and he's up to this job.
Yeah, well, here's the question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It should.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should, but it's also he did a great speech.
You can always count on MSNBC the Coke.
NAACP. He was probably going to do another good speech today.
Guys, this is actually good for him. Here's how Biden, at the brittle old age of 81, getting COVID is actually a positive. Okay.
There's banging their head against the wall because for strong supporters of the president, they're thinking we were getting some momentum. We're getting close to the convention. He had a great speech. He did a good interview, et cetera. And now this is just going to halt things. And if you're not a fan of the president being the nominee, and there are some people out there, Senator Adam Schiff and others, then this delays everything. He can't have meetings in person. There can't be private meetings with leaders. This stalls that too. That's all a problem for the Democratic Party, all of it.
Let's bring back in Mike Memoli, who first joined us when this news broke at just about the top of the hour with the president canceling the appearance in the room that you are in there, where there was a crowd gathered, and we saw him now board Air Force One returning to Delaware. What else do we know at this hour?
So this room has emptied out quite quickly. We're just now learning some more details about the president's schedule.
Madness.
He was scheduled to fly to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware and then spend the public schedule for the rest of the week had indicated that they would be adding information as the week went on. Well, clearly he's now going to remain in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, his beach house there, while he's self-isolating. I'm told the First Lady is already there, so she will be present, probably self-isolating from her husband in that room. Interestingly, this.
Gosh, y'all's side is so dumb. Being shot is as bad as COVID. Wait, what? Y'all's side? The fuck do you mean y'all's side? We're watching MSDNC. What do you... Motherfuckers say y'all's side.
About this diagnosis as well. And it's important to note what he told that audience, that don't worry, the president will be back. Of course, there have been questions about what this will mean for the president in terms of his campaign schedule going forward. But obviously, with all the questions about whether he will even remain in the race, those comments from Sisolak are certainly notable. It's also worth looking back to, as somebody who covered the entire 2020 campaign, including after the campaign was essentially shut down due to COVID in March of 2020, just how the Biden campaign had to adapt to that new situation. The Biden campaign is indicating nothing at this point about what this will mean going forward. But obviously, so much has changed. He has already received that dose of Paxlovid. The guidance from the CDC in terms of self-isolation and when you can then return to public is different. We all noted, you may have even heard me on the hot mic question why the president was not wearing
but the state
a
has
mask.
seen little economic growth in recent years.
They're not hitting the bar. Fox News is not talking about it yet.
The colleagues in the press pool did shout to the president as he was boarding the plane to ask him how he felt, and he did say he felt good. So
yeah, y'all's side is so funny because like everyone here is making jokes about Biden getting COVID. When Trump got COVID, Republicans were like, if you even make jokes about this, we'll kill you. Okay? Like that's the major difference here. Okay? Like aside from the Joe Biden like dead enders, okay, Brandon or Busters out here, which are a select few group of like blue anon, blue MAGA types. Most Democrats, you know, despite our disagreements on many issues, most Democrats are infinitely more critical of their own administration than Republicans ever will be. Republicans hail Trump as a deity. It's so stupid.
All of those
There's no comparison.
lawmakers, I'm sure, will be indicating and getting tested themselves in accordance with all the best guidance from the CDC about what happens next at this point. Ari.
Yeah, and Mike, I mean, the White House woke up today to Adam Schiff, who's very close to Speaker Pelosi, former Speaker Pelosi, discussing, again, the idea that maybe there should be a different nominee, which is a conversation that Jen Psaki and David Plouffe referred to that they have tried to quiet. I'm curious, do you have any barometer for us over the last 2+ weeks? The Lester Holt interview here on NBC as well, our sister network, was very publicly part of a calculated blitz to try to draw out several events and appearances to quiet the doubters. Can you just give us, again, obviously separate from the COVID diagnosis, a barometer of where today felt like going into this, before the diagnosis, before this news broke, because they had a lot of tough days, first several days after the debate. They argued that it was getting better, that was quieting after Clooney and other things. What was the sort of 0 to 10 on that as of today, before this news broke?
Well, the Biden campaign was really brushing off that new statement that came in the form of a statement to the Los Angeles Times first from Adam Schiff about the need for the president to step aside. They were pointing simply back to the letter that the president had written to the entire Democratic delegation in Congress about his intention to stay in the race and the fact that he felt that this conversation about the future of the Democratic ticket was only distracting what should be the primary goal for Democrats, which is defeating Donald Trump. That's a goal and an imperative that is even much more squarely in focus at this point, of course, with Republicans very much showing signs of unity in Milwaukee at their conference. I thought it was important, though, as you mentioned, some of the key details about Adam Schiff, somebody who is close to Nancy Pelosi, somebody who is a prodigious fundraiser in the Democratic Party, somebody who has raised lots of money and traveled quite often for what we call those frontline members, those members in the toughest congressional districts. Perhaps this is this indication on the part of Schiff that he is speaking for a group that does not feel like it can speak at this point. Schiff running, of course, his own campaign for Senate in California, but one against a Republican where he's heavily favored to be the victor in November. Rewind just 2 weeks, though, to what Adam Schiff said on NBC's Meet the Press when he talked about it was much more delicate in how he spoke about the need for the president to make a decision that was in the best interest of the party. As he put it then, when we hear the Biden campaign now talking about we haven't seen a major shift in the polls still show a single-digit a margin of error race. In fact, one poll showing the president ahead of Donald Trump by 2 points. That's one of their justifications for the president moving ahead, full speed ahead. But Schiff's point on Meet the Press 2 weeks ago was that it shouldn't be this close, that you're running against a convicted felon, that you're running against somebody who is deeply unpopular as well, and that, in their view, somebody with the kind of political tailwinds behind them should be much further out in front. That was his warning 2 weeks ago. It's clear that he didn't think that the Biden team got the warning sufficiently, and that there is a need for more public outspoken criticism for him to step aside. And you add that, Ari, to what we also saw today, which was the Democratic National Committee delaying what was the plan to begin the process.
Yeah, where presidents are dropping like flies, dude.
Process, a party-driven bureaucracy that requires several hoops to be jumped through before the Rules Committee can get to that point of doing it. But that process itself delayed at the behest not of the president, not of the Biden campaign, but of Leader Schumer and Leader Jeffries.
Here's him walking to the plane after he tested
think
positive for COVID, getting on Air Force One. Bro, God Almighty is literally telling him to step down, brother. That's like, there's no better indication. Kaya, okay. Go. Want to go on a walk? He looks the same. Yeah. You can't tell if he's just like dying because of COVID or just dying because of age. Wait, how is this news/content? Every older adult who's vaccinated is mega protected from COVID. I literally go asymptomatic COVID a month ago. I don't think this is news. Nothing's going to happen. Dude, do you think Biden is a regular adult? He is 854 years old. He was there when the Black Plague was around. Dude, that's crazy. Bro just compared himself to Joseph Robinette Brandon. Biden has been living on borrowed time for like the past 40 years. You're out of your mind. He had a stroke when he was 40. This is also, I think this is the third time he has COVID. I thought it was the second, but maybe it's the third time. I posted this, I posted this fun little screenshot that I found on the Associated Press website when I was looking for the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, test positive for COVID. Right up top, it says, President Joe Biden tests positive for COVID-19 ahead of his speech. Interesting. Don't come after Mamala. They fucked. Okay, that's not what I was implying. I wasn't implying anything, actually. So if you try to say I was implying something, I'll tell you you're wrong. Okay? Ken Klippenstein update? What? I don't even know what that is. I can't believe it, dude. I cannot believe it. The Lord Almighty, he heard what Biden was saying.
Even over the next 3 to 5 days, this can't be a situation where Joe Biden's not visible. I'm sure he won't be, but he's got to be out there aggressively doing interviews and driving that. This is what the election's about. And it's got to be a lot less about his record. He's been an amazing president. He should be proud of his record. But elections are always about the future. You got to paint the picture for.
Dude, wait. Republican Senator Joni Ernst can barely summon the goodwill to wish President Biden well when asked to respond to the news he tested positive for COVID.
Thoughts about President Biden getting COVID? I mean, he can't catch a break.
I wish him well, Greta, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, okay. All right, we'll move on.
Oh my God, she's smart. Bro, that's crazy. First of all, if I was a Republican and Biden got COVID, I wouldn't be so excited because the likelihood that he's replaced with a much stronger candidate is pretty high. It's higher than it was yesterday. And secondly, dude, Republicans are great, dude. Look. She can't even say it. Look.
Okay. All right, we'll move on then. All right. This Iranian threat, it is, I mean.
Dude. Republicans are such little demons. I bet you she complained about the Democratic Party's violent rhetoric earlier, too. Yeah, that's identical energy when a Southerner says bless his heart. That's what she was saying. Shouldn't we all be wishing good health for the president, Republican or Democrat? Meek skit. Once again, thank you. Thank you. Nancy Pelosi after licking every doorknob in the White House. I think they want to blame COVID on his performance with this call to congressional Dems. We are a clown show. The Republican false flag the shooting. The Democrats false flag COVID. This is perfect. The European mind is beginning to comprehend.
I'm driving for 5 minutes now and I can't wipe this smile off my face. I'm driving a Ram truck in America. Like, look how...
Dude, this is literally... He said, I'm listening to country music. He's listening to Avicii. But like, Besides the point. That's besides the point. That's besides the point. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. This is a very real experience. Okay? This is a very real experience. Now you understand why I love hogs so much. Okay? Now you understand why I love hogs so much.
My guess is what Kamala Harris herself would say is, welcome all comers. We'll talk to the delegates. We'll travel the country. In almost any scenario, she is going to be the Democratic nominee. Maybe it's not open. Maybe it's a baton handoff. Maybe it's open. I think she would be smart by saying, hey, I want to earn this. I'll welcome. And she is in the absolute driver's seat. And so I think that, many of the candidates that might be strong candidates, even though I think they would not be as strong as her as it relates to the delegates, have said they're not going to run. So I think there's...
The writers this season chose to give the politics enjoyers a real gift of scripts. Earlier, they were not interested, seemingly. They were like, this is going to be boring. You're going to hate it. It's a rerun. And then, like, at the last hour, they were like, you know what? Actually, just kidding. We're going to fuck shit up big time, okay? Shit's going to be looking like a soap opera.
Everything's okay, and we don't have...
Yeah, this is like when you say, like, it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. This season is a slow burn. It takes a lot of buildup. But once you get to the apex, dude, when you get to peak velocity, it just goes nutty mode, okay? Back to back to back bangers.
Term, I think that's welcome to everybody. So I get the frustration, but at the end of the day, this will be settled. And we will our pair up, and I think everyone's going to be focused then on preventing Donald Trump from taking the oath of office on January 20th of next year.
David Plouffe giving us reaction to the breaking news: the president diagnosed with COVID, returning to Delaware today, and you, as a former campaign manager for the Obama-Biden campaign, talking about these fresh questions speaks, I think, to the wider both political and news reaction, in addition, of course, to what we always say around here, which is we wish him well. As we do the former president. A lot of health in the news. Our thanks to David Plouffe. We are following this breaking story, but we turn back to the RNC where the